Greetings and welcome. How are we all feeling today? As humans, we are very emotional beings. We get worked up, we get stressed, we get worried, we get emotional, and that's the normal part of the human experience. That is the beauty of the human experience. And without emotions, we do not fully experience life. We do not fully enjoy and engage with each other and connect with each other. And a lot of the time, we get so emotional that we struggle to communicate what we're actually feeling. And most of the time, the emotion itself is not the problem. Most of the time, the problem is emotional regulation and also managing the intensity of your emotions, being able to take a step back and diffuse what you're feeling. And it's important to understand that emotions play a huge role in how we think and how we function, because the more negative you are in your emotions, the more difficult you're going to find it to be positive and to enjoy good things. But if you are a really happy, positive person, well, you don't have to be happy, but if you just genuinely have a more positive outlook, you're going to attract more of that into your life, and that's going to create value. Remember, emotions are there for us to understand ourselves and to understand life. Emotional intelligence is what comes into play. And emotional intelligence is being able to understand your emotions and to understand others and to put yourself in their shoes and to walk their journey with them. And a lot of the time we think that the logical way is the way to go. But yes, you must use your logical mind. But when someone is breaking down, when someone is upset, then you want to use your emotional intelligence. And your emotional intelligence is your ability to self-regulate, your ability to understand what you're feeling and to process what you're feeling. But unfortunately, we do tend to repress these things a lot. And it's because we don't know how to express them. So we project. People who haven't healed from their past hurt and it's in their present tend to be very unhappy people, and they tend to project what they're feeling onto others in a negative way because they don't know how to deal with their own emotions. They don't know how to regulate what they're feeling and balance it. Because the thing is, the more you reinforce negative emotions and destructive emotions, the more you'll feel it. Because what we focus on, we feel. And we need to tap into our emotional intelligence. And there are many ways that you can increase your emotional intelligence. Lending an ear, being there for a friend, becoming in touch with your emotions and your feelings and what's going on for you in the moment. Because the thing is, even though we get emotions from the past, emotions are felt in the present, in the moment. Emotions are where you are now. You can't feel emotions and be in the past, and you can't feel emotions and be in the future. What you experience with your feelings and your emotions is what creates and shapes your reality. Remember, if we do not have a good understanding of emotions, we tend to become a bit erratic, and it can be difficult for people to want to connect with us, for people who want to further their relationships with us. And remember, emotions are not illnesses. Emotions are guides. They help you understand your journey, understand life, and they also help you to understand what you're feeling. And the thing is, with emotions, it has a lot to do with your thinking. if you change your thinking, your perception, your mindset, if you change that, then you change how you feel. And if you have repetitive emotions that are like a cycle, you need to break that by thinking the opposite and forcing yourself to feel something else. And that's the thing with depression, is that we're numb and we don't feel. The best thing you can do when you're struggling and you're going through recovery is to feel everything and to take note of it and to process it and to understand it. And emotional intelligence is just as important as practical intelligence. And we need to use our wise mind so we understand the practicality of the situation, but we also understand that we have emotions and people have emotions and people struggle, and without emotions, how can we understand others? How can we understand ourselves? How can we engage in someone else's own map of the world? And with emotional intelligence, it's the ability to communicate empathy, not sympathy, but empathy. To be able to sit with someone and jump in that deep dark abyss with them and show them how to get out. And it's the ability to really not feel sorry for someone, so not sympathy, but being able to be in their position for a little bit, to understand what they're feeling and what they're going through. And as I said, it's not just about the emotion and what is being felt. It's hardly ever about the emotion itself, but it's actually more about the intensity that you feel, the intensity of that emotion and how you regulate that. Because it's all fine to try and stabilize your emotions, but if you have very intense, very loud emotions, then it can be very difficult to manage the intensities, especially if you are very dysregulated. And it's about understanding how emotions affect your decisions, what decisions you make, your problem solving, and how it affects your circumstances and your outcomes. Because when we are emotional, it can change a lot of things, and it shapes how you engage in difficult conflict or difficult circumstances. And emotional reactions always have an outcome, even if it's in a positive way. It will always influence something, either around you in your external world or in your internal world. It shapes how we engage in life's turbulences. And use emotions as guides. Remember, they're not illnesses. Use emotions to navigate through life, to show you how to live life and how to really feel, because that is the most amazing part of the human experience. And using emotions as guides instead of illnesses gives you a better perspective on how emotions work and how they are not meant to be destructive, but the thing is, we make emotions destructive. And it's also about prioritizing your emotional well-being, prioritizing yourself, how you feel, and not allowing others to cross your boundaries or to hurt you maliciously. So it's about really taking care of your emotional well-being, how you're feeling on a day-to-day basis, and what moods you put yourself in. And prioritizing emotional well-being is not allowing others to manipulate your emotions, to be strong in your emotions and not allow others to sway what you're feeling the whole time. So emotional intelligence is one of the greatest tools we can have in our toolbox, because your emotions guide you and they show you how beautiful life's experiences are. So remember, you are unique and valuable. Take care of that beautiful person. Stay strong wherever you're from. You are worthy.